It was really lonely, I will tell you that. It was a time where it was the year where everything was hard. Like, I think there was over 300 people applying to jobs within an hour. And I was actually one of the lucky people where I was getting interviews a little bit, but when I was getting them, I really wasn't getting past even a hiring manager. I think that's as far as I went. I had definitely known that I wanted to look at some type of coaching. And when I evaluated other coaches, I think it was really a diving in, but I was dealing with also just a lot of honestly, imposter syndrome was starting to show up for this. So years of being a woman in product kind of was creeping up on me. And one thing really made this program stand out to me is Shobit did a post where he talked about if you were laid off, validate your feelings, pause and validate it. And that showed me that there was something different in this.
Jodi, it's great to see you. How are you doing today?
I'm doing good. It's great to be here, Will.
Awesome. Awesome. Well, congratulations on the role. You were saying that you've been there for a couple of months now. How's that been going for you?
It's been going really good. It is a different type of role. It's a lot more technical than I've ever done, but I've been really excited to kind of dive in and just learn new things. It's been great.
That's fantastic. You worked so hard. You worked the program really well. Really impressed with all of that. Glad to see you landing there. Look forward to hearing about your journey here. So, but before we jump into all of that, could you give me a bit of a snapshot of sort of your career prior to all of this?
Yeah, I have been in a product for about 10 years now, which is hard to say, but throughout that time, I really had worked in a wide range of industries. So anywhere from, nonprofits to healthcare and employee accommodation, and really across, wide range of not only industries, but also company sizes. So I had been in startups and large companies. And really, what brings that all together, though, is that I have just a love of product. I like going in and being an expert on the process of it and building with people instead of for them and bringing just groups of people together towards a strong product vision. And so that's what I bring, and that's my brand of product management.
I think that's great. You demonstrated that a ton. I remember, and I still see a number of your posts, your thoughtful posts on LinkedIn, where you're really talking about the craft of product management and sharing your learnings. I think that's awesome that you invest in the community that way. So that's great.
Thanks.
In terms of your job search prior to joining the program, what did that look like?
Yeah, it was really lonely, I will tell you that. It was a time where it was the year where everything was hard. Like, I think there was over 300 people applying to jobs within an hour. And I was actually one of the lucky people where I was getting interviews a little bit, but when I was getting them, I really wasn't getting past even a hiring manager. I think that's as far as I went. And that was very rare for me because before in my previous time, being in the job market, I was getting through very easy, maybe like last final rounds or anything like that. And so I all of a sudden saw that this was a very competitive market. I had the experience, but something was really missing. I wasn't telling my story in the way that I needed for people to hear them. And so, yeah, it was just felt overwhelming. And I had a lot of self-doubt that kind of started coming in because of that.
That's awesome. So, I mean, not awesome that you had
Yeah.
it, but awesome that you
Yeah.
were able to reflect on that. And is that sort of the moment where you decided, like, you just didn't want to do this alone? Like you said, this was very lonely. Is that what started you looking for support?
Yeah, I had definitely known that I wanted to look at some type of coaching. And when I evaluated other coaches, I think it was really a diving in, but I was dealing with also just a lot of honestly imposter syndrome was starting to show up for this. So years of being a woman in product kind of was creeping up on me, also getting um, you know, a ADHD late diagnosis. It was all hitting me at once. And so I was flooded. And one thing really made this program stand out to me is Shobit did a post where he talked about if you were laid off, validate your feelings, pause and validate it. And that showed me that there was something different in this. It wasn't just about going through and, working your way through, learning a methodology to tell your story, but it was also about taking that time to almost do that mindset work on top of that. So that's what really got me into this type of coaching. I needed both.
Right. I think in this journey, people forget that there are people involved,
Yeah.
right? There are the feelings, the emotions, the need for connection, the need to validate the moments of being down in the dump at times, but then also to celebrate the highs.
Yes.
Even if they're little micro moments of celebration, that's worth recognizing and taking a pause for those as well. So I'm glad that you saw that and that that post resonated with you. That's wonderful. As you were looking and validating sort of different programs that were out there, did you have any hesitations initially about joining the intentional product manager search program?
I really didn't. I mean, I did a lot of my own research before, so I read what other students were saying, but I trusted my gut. I think that's the one thing that I did know. Um, I had talked to other coaches and nothing felt right, but I think the amount of just knowing that I was gonna have lots of coaching and they were gonna be with me the whole time until I got something, it wasn't limited to like, this is 6-week program or this is that. I was really gonna have a partner with me there to like the whole process to grow with and to have that community side of it as well. I knew that it was an investment, and that's how I saw it.
That's great. Yeah, I that's one of the things that I love about the program as well is that we have a lot of different coaches, so a lot of different ways to work with you, and being there through that whole thing, the ups and the downs. But as you joined and as you came in, what was maybe your first aha moment, if you could share that with people?
My first aha moment was really having a coach who, when I was really just struggling, see me and validate me. I knew it was different. So there are different types of coaches, which is great because when you're out interviewing, it's not just one type of coach. You're gonna be sitting there talking to many different types of people. So it gives you almost personas of the different type of interview styles that you'll have. But my big aha moment was spending time breaking down like this is what people are actually trying to get from you when you answer a question. So having that framework of like, this is how you break it down, not simply the star method. I think that's what it's called, like how it's traditional. That wasn't working for me, but it was I was starting to see that there was a framework to really find that value, to hook people in and to get them to really hear your story. So that was my first aha moment.
I think one of the things in the journey with you, I would see you work through your stories and really work on how to deliver them conversationally, allow your personality to come through, and finding that right way to navigate what is an interviewer looking for. You were diligent in that work, and so and it paid off, which is great. I'd love to hear about the journey for this role. So tell us a bit about the where you are, what the role is, and how you went about that process of landing it.
Yeah. So I originally Lucidwork is an AI. It's a leader in the AI and search industry. And so I really first went about it. I had landed, kind of applied with them, and had a role earlier in the year in November, and interviewed for an AI kind of facing role that was more. It seemed like it was a good fit. I really liked the hiring manager. We connected really well, but I could tell right away that it probably wasn't gonna be a fit for me. They needed someone with a little bit more AI, like, direct, experience, but when a position opened up in January, right away, they came back to me, and I didn't even know it. They came back to me and said, "Hey, we have this role. We really liked you. Would you be willing to do this?" And this is a data acquisition, so it's not the AI, it's the data behind it, which has been really interesting for me. But yeah, it was a pretty easy process. I got to go through them. And I got to be really my authentic self. So I used all of the tools that I used. But like I said, the coaches here had always told me it's going to take me a little longer to find the right place to land. But when I did, I felt great interviewing with them and confident.
It's wonderful that even though the first one didn't turn out, they came back. Clearly, you had made a strong impression with them, so that's wonderful that it's turned out to be that way. When you think about the program and the process, what were some of the things that you think helped you the most be able to deal with the starting in November, it not working out, but still being in a great place when they came back in January for this to work out. How do you see the program sort of helping you through that process?
Yeah, when I think of like the three things that the program really helped me with, I'll even take a step back for that, is number one, it really just gave me a sense of community. And so I had a community behind me that I was meeting with weekly to help, just cheer me on and keep me going and rethink of like, hey, have you tried this? Have you done this? Number two was really the structures and the tools that I was given. So it helped me tell my story and to feel confident, like this might not be the one, but like, let's just keep going. Let's keep interviewing. Let's keep telling and refining your story. And then third was really the healthy mindset that I got from this. So just knowing that your no is one step closer to your yes. Like that's all it is. And reframing that in a way that's so healthy for you. But also like taking time to process the no, but then keep it moving. So celebrating it, but getting back to work is really what I was able to get here.
That's wonderful. And I love those points. I can definitely see how that would make a difference in that. I think the community piece is something that I talk about with students when they first come on, is to engage in the community. I think you and a number of the people in have created some of these their own cohorts of people in
Yeah.
similar stages. And when I see that and I see how all of you are succeeding in the market, is such a valuable piece to be with peers who are invested in you and you get invest in them as well. So I'd love to hear in your own words, what do you think, how would you describe the intentional job search program here?
Yeah, I would say it is just the best 360 job support. It's an investment really in yourself, that you are worth it. Like you're worth the work and you're going to have all the support that you need to do that. And you're going to get like an experience. Like I said, it's not something that you go do a course or you read, or it's something that's just there. It's really like having that coach right by you in that interview. You get to go back, you get to process everything with them. And it's really a place where it's going to help you continually grow. Like I was able to jump into this role and execute very quickly because of the mindset work that I had done. I have made lifelong connections, like those groups that we were just talking about. We're still meeting weekly. We all have new roles, but we have a connection in product in our network that's huge. And it also taught me how to network properly, how to invest in that. Thinking about your LinkedIn and your content. What's your brand as a product manager? I never thought about that outside of just like, this is my role now, this is what I'm doing. So it's just been such a great investment in myself as a product manager, in like how I feel as a product manager, how I show up and how I engage with my community that I care about so much.
I love to hear that you're still meeting
Yeah.
some of the friends that you can make in these type of programs, or just period. We have people that we work with. They tend to be friends of convenience because we happen to be there. And then there are those that will stay through this journey with us. And we can only pick up so many, but they're worth investing in when you find those right people. And I'm glad that you found some of those here. Uh, as you're thinking about other people who might be watching this interview, trying to figure out what's should they go forward or not, when they're thinking about this, who do you think this program is perfect for, and why would it do you think it would be great for them?
I think it depends. But I will go into like why it was perfect. Like I said, we talked about me. I think that the type why it was perfect for me is that I needed different types of coaches, but I needed to also see leaders that looked like me, that processed like me, that could validate me. So, if you are doubting, like you've come from like somewhat toxic work environments, or you're like recovering from any of that and you don't know your way, you really feel lost, you can have an experience where I literally had a coach who looked at me and who said to me in my face, like, I know what it's like to be a woman in product, Jodi. I know what it's like to be like everyone thinks that they doubt you and they don't take you seriously, and they don't. I never had anyone in a leadership position ever say that to me and validate that I wasn't thinking these things, that it was real. It was so powerful. It was so powerful to me to hear her say that and to tell me that I'm worth it. And when I wanted to give up on myself because I was scared and I couldn't even get the words out of my mouth, she didn't let me quit on myself. She sat with me and she had me just try one little step at a time and never quit on myself. And I'll never forget that. And I always want to give that back to people. So it's very powerful. Like that's for me, it wasn't just someone, they really care about you. Your coaches really invest in you and they really care about you. And I needed that. And so it's it's just everything. Like I said, it's just a beautiful, it was just a beautiful process, not only getting the job, but it also like healed a lot of that and helped me find my confidence again.
I love that. I'm glad that we can be a part of a community that offers that in lots of different areas for lots of different people. And you specifically, I'm so glad that you had that moment here. And I'll add that you are absolutely worth every bit of this. You are an amazing product person. You have a wonderful way of looking at the world through that product lens and an ability to communicate those things. I've thoroughly enjoyed hearing your stories, seeing what you post and share, and the support that you give out as well. You are definitely a giver. You're not just looking for what's in it for you, but your contribution back is huge. And so thank you for being part of our community here as well. Um, as we wrap up, is there anything else that you would want to share with anyone or share with anything about the program?
Yeah, I would just say that if you're feeling lonely or feeling lost, like just reach out to the people that have done the program. I think this is a great way for you. Like I said, I know that it could feel like overwhelming, and it's just gives you the keys, right? It's like a shortcut, and not necessarily a shortcut because you still have to do the work, but it gives you so many tools to lean into. And so if you're looking for something to invest in, for just like all the tools, your mindset, right? How to tell your story, how to shine up, shine in the best way. You can also think about it as, it's a world right now where everything is AI, right? And so everything's changed and we have to move so fast. And it really just is amazing to connect with other product managers that are in that space, to set yourself above the competition. So
Wonderful. Well, Jodi, thank you so much for being here and congratulations on the new role. I have no doubt that there will be wonderful stories for you to tell in the future, and I look forward to seeing those. So thanks for taking the time today.
thank you, Will.
If you want to be one of our next success stories, make sure you book a call with us. I've left a QR code for you to scan. Go to our apply page, book time with us, and chat about your career and your journey to your dream product management role.